Preface.
When Alan T. Craig died in late November 1978, I lost my advisor, mentor, colleague, and very dear friend. Due to his health, Alan did nothing on the fourth edition, and, of course, this revision is mine alone. There is, however, a great deal of Craig's influence in this book. As a matter of fact, when I would debate with myself whether or not to change something, I could hear Alan saying, "It's very good now, Bob. Don't mess it up." Often I would follow that advice. Nevertheless, there were a number of things that needed to be done. I have had many suggestions from my colleagues at the University of Iowa, in particular Jim Brofitt, John Cryer, Dick Dykstra, Subhash Kochar, a visitor, Joe Lang, Russ Length, and Tim Robertson provided me with a great deal of constructive criticism. In addition, 3 reviewers suggested a number of other topics to include. I have also had statisticians and students from around the world write to me about possible improvements. Elliot Tannis, my good friend and co-author of our Probability and Statistical Inference, gave me permission to use a few of the figures, examples, and exercises used in that book. I truly thank these people, who have been so helpful and generous. Clearly, I could not use all of these ideas. As a matter of fact, I resisted adding real problems, although a few slipped into the exercises. Alan and I wanted to write about the mathematics of statistics, and I have followed that guideline. Hopefully, without those problems, there is still enough motivation to study mathematical statistics in this book. In addition, there are a number of excellent
books on applied statistics, and most students have had a little exposure to applications before studying this book. The major differences between this edition and the preceding one are the following. There is a better discussion of assigning probabilities to events, including introducing independent events and Bayes' theorem in the text. The consideration of random variables and their expectations is greatly improved. Sufficient statistics are presented earlier, as was true in the very early editions of the book, and minimal sufficient statistics are introduced. Invariance of the maximum likelihood estimators and invariant location and scale statistics are considered. The expressions convergence in distribution and convergence in probability are used, and the delta method for finding asymptotic distributions is spelled out. Fisher information is given, and the Rao-Kramer lower bound is presented for an estimator of a function of a parameter, not just for an unbiased estimator. The asymptotic distribution of the maximum likelihood estimator is included. The discussion of Bayesian procedures has been improved and expanded somewhat. There are also a number of little items that should improve the understanding of the text. The expressions var and cov are used. The convolution formula is in the text. There is more explanation of p-values. The relationship between two-sided tests and confidence intervals is noted. The indicator function is used when helpful. The multivariate normal distribution is given earlier for those with an appropriate background in matrices, although this is still not necessary in the use of this book. And there is more on conditioning. I believe that the order of presentation has been improved. In particular, sufficient statistics are presented earlier. More exercises have been introduced, and at the end of each chapter there are several additional exercises that have not been ordered by section or by difficulty. Several students had suggested this. Moreover, answers have not been given for any of these additional exercises because I thought some instructors might want to use them for questions on examinations. Finally, the index has been improved greatly, another suggestion of students as well as of some of my colleagues at Lower. There is really enough material in this book for a 3-semester sequence.
However, most instructors find that selections from the first 5 chapters provide a good one-semester background in the probability needed for the mathematical statistics based on selections from the remainder of the book, which certainly would include most of chapters 6 and 7. I am obligated to Catherine M. Thompson and Maxine Merrington, and to Professor E. S. Pearson for permission to include Tables 2 and 5, which are abridgments and adaptations of tables published in Biometrica. I wish to thank Oliver and Boyd Limited, Edinburgh, for permission to include Table 4, which is an abridgment and adaptation of Table 3 from the book Statistical Tables for Biological, Agricultural and Medical Research by the late Professor Sir Ronald A. Fisher, Cambridge, and Dr. Frank Yates, Rothamsted. Finally, I would like to dedicate this edition to the memory of Alan Craig and my wife, Carolyn, who died June 25, 1990. Without the love and support of these 2 caring persons, I could not have done as much professionally as I have. My friends in Iowa City and my children, Mary, Barbara, Alan, and Robert, have given me the strength to continue. After 4 previous efforts, I really hope that I have come close to getting it right this 5th time. I will let the readers be the judge.